Hey there guys, gals, non-binary pals, it's DMG and welcome back to Blitz. And today we have more of the fun stuff with subscriber replays. Now our first feature is the Dude 13. Now he has already been featured on this channel in a SU-152 replay, but now he'll be playing the LTTB on Lost Temple, and apparently the dude has been watching some of my videos as he immediately starts going to the temple, even in a light tank. So the LTTB is very fast, got some armor, its gun, it's a little leaves a little to be desired, but you know, it's not awful, and I think the dude is running the extremely long gun, so that's the top gun, and while it doesn't have the depression that the second gun has, it has a marginally higher rate of fire, and I think slightly better penetration too. But past that, I do believe the second gun is the best choice, but it's not really going to affect the Dude 30 here, as now he's going to start putting in shots in one of my favorite positions. Now this pagoda area, working around, getting shots, being safe. You know, you're wedged in here, and this is people putting in some of my videos into action right here, and you see him poking on just barely over that small little step there, and it's keeping him hauled down, and he's putting in these extremely finesse shots on the Jagdpanzer IV and on that AT-8 over there. But it's so important when you take this position, as it gives you this kind of dominance, and all that Jagdpanzer can do is run, but it's not like the Jag can do much now. He's already lost half his hit points, and he panics, drives into a wall, and the dude takes him out of the game. Now, the game is now in front of him. It's a 2-on-1 scenario, and he gets hit hard by that SU-100. He needs to take cover, so those tank destroyers, like I said, you know, LTTB does have some troll armor. It's a Russian tank, but at the same time, you're not bouncing those really uber high tank destroyer penetration rounds, even from those tank destroyers that are a tier lower than you. But as you can see there from the LTTB, he ricochets a shot off the front plate or the turret, which means that it does ricochet some rounds, although not a lot. And what I really like about what he's doing is it's so textbook. He's aiming for weak points. He's poking out just barely, getting shots across with minimal exposure. This is the phase of from being the above average player to the uni. It's these kinds of habits that you need to develop, and you see the Dude 30 here putting them into practice on Lost Temple. Now that was a bit of a mistake in my opinion. I would not auto aim there on such a long distance target, but that's okay, as that IS will not tunnel him and he is free to put in shots on him. Kind of another mistake there. I would have just started reversing, as the LTTB does have good reverse speed, and if the IS started to swing his turret around, he would have received another 400. But all is well that ends well, right? And he takes out the IS from the game, and now the Dude 30 is on 2 kills, and he just needs to get 2 more for a top gun. So let's see if he gets it here. 3 tanks to go, and some very nice shots. And then once again, the turret and the front plate doing a world of good for him in this moment as he ricochets the LTTB and the Type 58. Another great shot there over the KV-1S, just over the slight front, using the KV-1S as a armored meat shield, because the KV-1S does have a higher chance of bouncing these shots than the LTTB. So the dude is using the KV-1S as mobile cover in order to take out that Type 58, and he completes a mission. So they are up on tanks, up on points. It's all looking pretty darn good. So now it is cleanup time. However, you'll see that people lose their minds pretty quickly, and someone will die, and the dude takes an unnecessary shot there. I feel like using cover was not on his mind, but he's losing some unnecessary HP, but that's okay. He's still on half. It's a 3-on-2 tank situation. Hits the T-20 for a nice round, and because of the slightly higher rate of fire, gets it out of round a slight bit quicker, sets him on fire, and will burn out the T-20, as he does not have a fire extinguisher or a repair kit of any kind. Now, he puts in another great shot in that LTTB, and those, like I said, those are the kind of finesse shots that you need. And what the Dude 30 is doing now is resetting camo, making sure he goes unspotted. And this is going to be a perfect textbook example. Tree is down, uses the bush perfectly, has some cover available, puts in a great shot into the cupola of the LTTB. And like I said, guys, the finesse shots that you need to hit, he's giving him the maximum amount of time to aim that shot, and ooh, that's a little bit rough, but we'll get to that a little later, as the IS will finish off the rest of the job, right? But those are the kind of shots that you need to hit into the cupola. You know, he gave himself the maximum amount of time to get behind the bush, go unspotted, so that when that LTTB peaks, the dude has enough time to aim the gun, get a bead on a weak plate of the LTTB, and finish and hopefully finish him off. But unfortunately, the other LTTB puts in a great round through the dude, and he dies. But that IS, man, I don't know what the heck that is, but the gun is accurate enough to hit an LTTB moving? Sure, why not, right? Russian bias, whatever. Okay, anyways, great game for the dude, over 3,000 damage, 3,606 to be exact, with 4 destroyed, getting the top gun and a mastery badge, even though he died. It's a team victory, and he makes a nice credit profit to boot. Now, we will be going on to the next game, and this is quite an interesting one, as the player's name is The Killer. However, it was sent in by a previous subscriber replay submission person in Bricker, O2SK. Now, Bricker says that this is another account that he has, so I'm not really sure if that's violating the EULA or not, but, I mean, he told me to clear that up, that is Bricker, so I am just doing what he says. I mean, if any of you crazy EULA people out there are going to get your panties in a bunch about it, I mean, really go screw off. But this is Bricker playing on Port Bay, and they have gone to the corner, and Bricker said he has cut out some of the beginning part, as there was some in-game toxicity, so we don't really need to see that. I already do enough of that in chat for you guys to kind of laugh at. But he's going to run away and just nut the object 140, get to a safe position, and gets an extremely lucky bounce off the front plate of the Leopard. Those kind of extreme angles that produce auto bounces are very, very few and far between, but are useful, and Bricker puts in a great round on the Heat, or excuse me, should I say The Killer, quotation marks, right? Not Bricker, violation of EULA, blah, 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 whatever, who cares. But he's going to start putting in shots on this M103 now, and he's just looking for openings. Now, the Leopard has this fantastic weapon. Look at that on-the-move shot onto the 268. It's lovely, and you can just easily abuse, because if no one's shooting at you, the Leopard's the most dangerous tank in the game. High DPM, high accuracy, high mobility, good gun depression, everything you need to make a perfect tank, as long as the other team isn't blasting heat, or not heat, but HE at you, right? And that's what that Object 268 is trying to do. But the Leopard one has such good DPM for a 350 alpha weapon that Bricker is able to just annihilate his opponents with extremely high rate of fire, and good alpha at that. And look at the accuracy on this gun go. And this is what you're getting with the Leo. I mean, like I said, it's not the most armor tank, but it is good. And Bricker has taken that corner, which has meant that he has turned the tide for his team in order to win this game. Taking that corner is key if you want to win games, especially playing the non-port side, or the valley side, right? Should we call it the starboard side? That was a terrible joke, but anyways, on to the game. I crack myself up sometimes with my horrible jokes. Hopefully you enjoyed that. But he's going to go after this final kill and push into the light tank that is the Batchat. The Batchat's decently fast, but the Leopard is also fast, and this is where a Batchat is not so good, because while Bricker has a decent amount of... Ooh, that's right, the Batchat has an autoloader, Bricker. Ooh, not so good. But anyways, he dies for that, but they win on cap points, or the Batchat ends up dying. I didn't really see, but mastery there for 4,898 damage with 3 destroyed. Great game by Bricker there, or The Killer, as I should say. But anyways, good stuff. Now our last submit for a subscriber replay, or at least in this video, is Tommy20 from Merkvim, Chariots of Fire. And this is on the NA server, playing in the AMX Tier 9 French heavy tank. AMX 5120, of course. Now, this tank doesn't have a lot of armor. This tank doesn't have a lot of gun depression. It has a 3-shot autoloader, which means you have 1,200 bursts in about 6 seconds. But I am personally not a fan of this tank. However, Tommy20 is about to show us why the AMX 5120 can dominate in a top-tier matchup on Castilla. Now, he'll make a very interesting decision at the start of the game and go into a medium route and start working what is colloquially known as the Bushka spot. And what that means is he'll be starting to go over to his left, but he starts being a little unsure about this, as he thinks, okay, well, they're not at C right now. I feel like the heavy tanks would have spotted it. But then he says, okay, there's B. Let's go for B now. That's what's important. As we're starting to cap A, they're not pushing C. Where could they all be, right? See that, all that letter wordplay? Man, I am on fire today. But anyways, something quick about the subscriber replays. I'm not sure whether you guys like 3 in a row or having them player by player. I don't mean to demean anybody and say that your replay is not important by putting them all together. I just want to know whether you subscribers enjoy seeing multiple games or just one-off games. I'm not sure whether you like the quick, 5-minute video of a good game or seeing them more like this. I guess please leave your comments in that section of which you like better, seeing multiple replays versus just the single game. Anyways, Tommy20 is just going nuts here with the clip. He clipped out that AMX using some nice HE rounds, and now he's going on this T28 Proto, and it is gone. And this is what happens when you have 1200 burst damage. But, autoloaders are quite hard to use, in my opinion, and I am completely inept with most of them, right? I have to play the defender to feel like I'm doing good with an autoload, and that is a 7.5 second interclip, right? But anyways, Tommy20, AMX 5120. Gosh, all this wordplay is just killing me here, right? But he's going to reclip here, and he will engage that heavy tank that is the stock ST1, and he's going to show him his side, and he'll just annihilate him. The AMX 5120 has the same weapon penetration as its Tier 10 counterpart. It is the AMX 50B. Now, what that means is that you can easily punch through Tier 9 targets and Tier 8 targets. AP, you can just clip out tanks there, because most heavy tanks, right, you're looking at about 1400 to 1500 HP, and if you can take away 1200, or if a medium puts in one shot onto a heavy tank, you can just go run and clip them out. However, what kills it for this tank for me is the poor amount of gun depression, as you can see right there. However, when Panther 2s don't want to look at you, you can clip out on them, and it just annihilates them. And he's doing my little thumb twitch thing now, too, with the aiming thing. I mean, I think that's a developed thing that you get after a while, but anyways, good stuff there. 2 tanks left to go. It is a 2-on-2. They have cap points, so they can just sit and hold, and 20 has to be very, very careful here. Oh, excuse me, it's a 3-on-2 with 2 caps. Now, the important thing here is that he just needs to be able to reclip so he can put out his burst damage, and now is the perfect time to do so. Let that T69 come around the corner, sponge the hit for Tommy20, and now it is time to finish the job on this IS-3. 2 shots in, and a 3rd shot in the drum will end the IS-3 and take away all of his hit points. Now, 2 caps, working with another IS-3, Tommy20 is going to clip again, and this is what's so hard about autoloaders, and I think Tommy20 has done a great job of this so far, is about timing your damage with your clips, right? Because you have to relocate while you're clipping. You have to do something else. Sometimes you have to play this mind game where people think you are clipping. And now, here comes the patent. Will he kill Tommy? All it is a nice high 2 roll. There we go. There it is. His patent's going to poke out again, but cap points will tick up, unfortunately, and not allow it. Tommy20 gets in 1 final shot into the game. Great stuff there by controlling caps, using your burst damage extremely effectively on Castilla, receiving a mastery badge, and with that extra shot puts his damage total to about 5,590, with 5 destroy, getting him the Radley Walters medal with a 35,000 credit profit. Great stuff there, Tommy20. So I really hope you all enjoyed that content. I sure enjoyed commentating on it. Like I said, I don't mean to demean anyone's singular replay. I loved watching all of them. It's just that I want to see if you guys enjoy slightly longer videos rather than the quick 4-minute video. So like I said, please leave your constructive criticism in the comments regarding as to whether you like the one-offs or the multiple series, and I'll try and do that a bit more. As people are continuing to send in subscriber replays, even after I do this video, there's at least a dozen that are still waiting in my inbox that I have not even opened yet. So if you enjoyed that content, please hit that like button and subscribe, and if you didn't, please leave your constructive criticism in the comment section. As always, I appreciate the opportunity to share my passion with you today, and I hope to see you next time.